go. Get on the sidewalk. Hey.
Division 1 acting to Manhattan. The command post is going to be set up at Park Row, south of City Hall at Vesey Street. It's the only place where the dust cloud has relieved, possibly.
Alright, this is Division 6 acting Division 1.
10-4, Division 6 acting Division 1. The command post at this point will be Vesey Street and Park Row, south of City Hall. K, do you copy?
Division 6, that's the 10-4, okay.
Have all incoming fire department units report to this location and stage on Park Row.
Division 6 acting, that's the 10-4, okay.
Division 6 acting again. The access, down the, FDR is clear. PD has the FDR lanes open, but have all units approaching use extreme caution. Traffic is going the wrong way and numerous civilians. K.
Division 6 acting, 10-4.
Get up on the sidewalk. You want to lose your cameras? Get up on the sidewalk. The ambulances are slowing down here. They shouldn't have to. Tell you what, you've got 10 seconds to move that camera or it's going in the trash. I'm a lifesaver, that's what I am.
Back to Dave Statter. Dave?
Yeah, I'm here, Mike. We just had a military jet fly over here, very low. We can tell you from the people we've been talking to coming from the Pentagon, they'd have very little in the way of information, and there's a lot, as you talk about rumors, that have been circulating through here about another possible attack, and certainly the hijacked planes you've talked about that seem to be confirmed. So that is causing a great deal of concern here.
Rick, I'm going to have to break away from you. We're getting more information on the situation in Pittsburgh. Let me read directly off the Associated Press. A large plane crashed just north of the Somerset County Airport, 80 miles southeast of Pittsburgh. The plane, I just lost it on my screen, believed to be a, I've lost it on my screen, believed to be a 767 is what I think I read there. But again,
Do we have an eyewitness here? We have an eyewitness, I think, to what happened here at the Pentagon. If you have a moment, Heather Cabbage bringing that person over here. Can you tell me what you saw and where you were?
Well, we were on Columbia Pike where the shelter is, and all of a sudden you can hear the noise coming first, and then you can feel the shaking of the building. And we just looked up out of the window, and I saw the tail end go.
What size plane?
It was for me, it looked like a big size plane. It was definitely a passenger plane. And everything shook. And then all of a sudden you just heard this big explosion. And somebody said, my God, they hit the Pentagon, they hit the Pentagon. And I didn't know that they had hit the World Trade Centers this morning. And then,
we've seen a couple injured who've been taken out. Have you seen any others?
I've seen people, yeah, I've seen a few injuries. And they lined up stretchers or those things they use, for the bodies, and a whole slew of people just went in line, military people, heading that way. So I take it that it was a lot of injuries.
What's your name?
Mark Eason.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking, go through the tunnel right now, man. I don't want to do that. Get out of here.
All right, stay right there with me. out is 11:43, okay?
Acting to Manhattan. To Manhattan.
Engine 321.
We're in engine 6's area.
Engine 321, what route did you take getting to Manhattan, Kate?
Call 5 to Manhattan.
Alright, stand by. Call 5, message.
Call 5, we're trying to establish a command post at Betsy and West. Notify any department official, that's where we're trying to establish a command post.
Alright, car 5, 10-4, car 5, be
advised.
Car 5, be advised, that's for Division 6 acting. They set up a command post, Park Row, south of City Hall by Vesey Street, and we're going to have units being redirecting units in the Park Row for the staging area, Kate.
About 6 blocks away now from our hotel. I'm going to pan up so you can see the type of black fire smoke that's in the direction of the hotel. A little more to the right, behind that taller building, would have been the World Trade Center.
Call 5 received. Alright, attention all units responding into the World Trade Center. Be advised, we're now setting up a new command post. Park Row, south of City Hall by Vesey Street. All units are responding into the new staging area on Park Row. Repeating, all units not presently committed, respond over to the staging area, Park Row, south of City Hall on Vesey Street. Be advised, the FDR drive is now clear. You're to use extreme caution proceeding downtown to Manhattan. Time 1045-416.
Engine 31 communications. Specifications to Reserve Rescue Squad 3.
Phone. Where are you, AA, where are you getting this report from?
I'm watching Channel 42 News. It's New Jersey. They're saying that 2 more planes got hijacked out of Boston and they're headed for L.A.
Oh, my God.
This
Whoa.
is sick, man. What the hell's going on here?
This is an organized effort like we've never seen. I mean, how could the FBI or the CIA not be aware of this?
Can you tell me what happened? What'd you see?
I saw windows coming out of the building and the ceiling falling on the floor where I was walking. That's when we started heading for the exit. And
then we got downstairs.
We got to the first floor from 82nd floor.
And all of a sudden there was this big explosion. I don't know if
everything went
just like what you just seen, that's what we went through before we came out of the building. Then when we get out the building, then another smoke cloud came. Better go through that smoke cloud again. Mom, I just want you to know I'm all right. I don't know what else to tell you. We came from the 82nd floor, and I don't know where the peoples are. I don't know. I hope to God they're okay. That's all I can say. I don't know what. We saw a shadow. It looked like a plane. Next thing we know, it was boom, boom, and the floor started shaking. And then we saw debris fall down, and next thing we know, we had to get out of the building. We stuck on the stairs for a while. We finally got down to the lobby. Then we get to the lobby, it was this big explosion. I don't know what it was. It's just a cloud, just like what you just saw. Big cloud of smoke like that.
We thought we escaped that.
We escaped, and then we wanted to come out and run.
We saw a wall of clouds like pyroclastic. It was heading toward us.
So
That's when we started running. I thought we'd be able to outrun it, but we couldn't. It was pitch black. It was like a comet just hit the earth.
Like a comet?
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at your clothes. Look at
Whatever this stuff is, I hope it doesn't kill you.
What were you on?
I was on 82nd. I was consulting there for the real estate department, and we first heard the blast, and then the ceiling in our office started falling down, and the wiring behind the ceiling, everything started falling. And we looked out the window, we saw windows coming down from above. That's when I started saying that, well, this is not just an ordinary emergency. It must be something really big. Before this second explosion, somebody was telling us a plane hit the building, but we don't know about it. I was hoping it's not a suicide bomber or something. Well, I don't know right now. Definitely don't give up now. Yeah. Come on, don't give up.
I'm just tired. I'm tired.
More smoke rising from the ground, new smoke. So there was some kind of additional explosion, but I don't know what it was. Definitely.
Heads will roll on this one.
Has anybody...
If there are any heads left when they're done.
Right. Has anybody said that...
They're also saying that the White House knew about this stuff? That it was
they had a credible report of a terrorist attack. We're aware that the plane that was hijacked out of Pittsburgh has crashed.
It has?
Yes, that's what
it did crash.
That's what I've been...
Where did it crash into?
About 80 miles outside of Pittsburgh.
Joining me here is Tito Castellanos. He was inside the building at the time of the explosion. Chris, I'm going to let him explain to you what he saw, what he experienced. Hello.
Hi, what can you tell us about where you were and what you saw and heard?
I was at the subway station, and my ticket stub says 8:45 a.m. And as I was waiting for the train to come, we heard the explosion. A lot of debris fell on us, like dust type of particles and stuff like that. And then automatically they started to tell us to evacuate through another exit. So finally we were able to get out. We come to the sidewalk. On the scene there, I saw a lot of debris and smoke on the street and sidewalk, and the cops on the other side of the street were telling us to hold on because there was still a lot of debris falling from the building that was burning, actually. As all this rain of bricks and glass and stuff that was coming down stopped, we were told to go on, but the people behind us were panicking, and they started to push us into the street. Finally, I got to the corner of the street, and I looked up, and that's when the second airplane, I saw it coming on the horizon and make like a small nosedive, and boom, hit the second building, the one that's facing the south part. Anyway, at that moment, everybody panicked, started to run away. I was under a debris of hot metals. Excuse me. I was in the building because I was driving a friend. No, I'm worried for her safety. She works in the U.S. Customs. I'm praying for her to be all right. I was injured in my leg, and I had my hip almost dislocated because I had a hip replacement a year ago. I'm sorry, I'm pretty shaky right now.
Chris, this is Rick.
That's
just one of many stories as people come by us here, all of them telling us their stories of the people that they know that are inside the building, people that they fear are trapped inside the building. And I would say that of every 20 people that walks by, one of them has some type of injury, be it a small injury, a bandage, they're wrapped, they're holding their eyes, they're holding their head.
So in other words,
That's what I was just told right outside.
We don't know if it was shot down.
We don't know.
And there are
right.
people on that plane? I mean, I'm talking about passengers?
We would assume so, but we just don't know.
This is a sick day.
I just don't ever recall a time where a plane was hijacked. We didn't immediately know about it.
Well, we can tell you right now that an ambulance has blown up in this area. Apparently, it was close enough to the building that, according to the information that we just received moments ago from one of our producers, she did an interview with one of the EMS workers, and the EMS worker says that one of her friends, another EMS worker, was trapped inside the ambulance when it blew up, and she has lost her partner.
At 8:45, we had a plane crash into the World Trade Center. This plane crash, American Airlines is telling us this second one that you see, the fireball, was Flight 11, Boston to Los Angeles. It was a DC-based American Airlines crew aboard that plane.
Now you're going to see the first whale.
Why are they still being hijacked?
All right, here's what I know. The plane crashed in Somerset County, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Howard.
Yeah.
Maybe the pilot just flew it into the ground.
We think the pilot's, just saying, I'd rather crash in an unpopulated area at this point.
Let's just kill ourselves.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they're doing.
But now, Gandhi just told me that people are assuming that the actual pilots are not,
I don't think so.
That can't be. No, that they're not the actual pilots. They're just like some.
Right, I think some terrorists.
2-4 with a Mayday.
Engine 2-4, go.
2-4 and one member's out of the building. I got 2 members trapped. I can't tell the command post. 2 members trapped in the promenade between the 2 towers.
10-4, Manhattan, the Mobile Command Center.
Mobile Command Center, okay.
We received that report. Engine 2-4 has a firefighter trapped in the promenade.
We'll try to relay that message. Right now we're at the intersection of Battery and West.
The ambulance was situated about 500 feet from the area where the other buildings were at the time. You have to understand that when this first happened, they certainly didn't imagine that there would be second or tertiary explosions, so they parked some of their vehicles in those areas, and many of those vehicles, people in those vehicles, have lost their lives. As to what fire officials are trying to do in this area, Chris, it's very difficult. They're trying to get themselves to the scene, but they're not able to. Originally, they weren't able to because of all the smoke and all the debris, and now because of the people in the area and because of some of the way some of the cars, have been parked. So they have a real serious problem.
Well, hold on a second here.
Now you're going to see
look at this.
One of the towers to collapse. This is the World Trade Center, 110-story tower. And then shortly after that, the second tower just collapsing into a pile of rubble.
Here's the AP lead out of New York. In a horrific sequence of destruction, terrorists crashed 2 planes into the World Trade Center, and the twin 110-story towers collapsed this morning. Explosions also rocked the Pentagon, and there was a car bomb at the State Department.
They're telling most of the fire officials to meet in the Office of Emergency Management, where they're going to hopefully try and at least get a handle on the situation by getting most of the fire officials and rescue officials there. The Red Cross, we've talked to them just moments ago. They told us to put this number out. They're in this area.
Dave Statter mentioned a few minutes ago another military aircraft that was scrambled out of Andrews. We saw it bear off towards the southwest, possibly in response to the reports that you've got of the aircraft over Dulles. I can now confirm that the White House, about a half an hour ago, vehicles pulled up in the south entrance of the White House, apparently moving some key personnel out. And we've been able to spot on the White House roof Special Operations Forces personnel of the Secret Service, 3 of them.
Maria Bartiromo, however, has been in the financial district all morning. She's now live at the New York Stock Exchange. Maria, we'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Sue. Well, basically, clearly the city has come to a halt in New York. I am on Wall Street. I have been down here and witnessed 2 of the explosions. Now, the first explosion that I witnessed was the second plane going into the second tower. I was outside. Frankly, I ran for my life. It was like a movie, a plane going right into the top of the World Trade Center, the second tower. The whole Wall Street area, Broadway, Wall Street, Broad Street, was filled with people. Everyone just ran. There was a lot of debris coming at all of us. In fact, things were coming from the building, metal pieces as well as papers. We all ran. The second explosion that I witnessed was about 10 a.m., and that was, in retrospect, the collapse of that tower. And again, debris came at us. The whole area turned pitch black. All we could see was smoke. We couldn't even breathe practically. We were closing our eyes. I actually went under the building across the New York Stock Exchange. There were steps which I just stayed in the stairwell as a place to just to hide. And then when I thought that it was quieted down, I made my way back into the New York Stock Exchange.
It's a gas leak.
Their plan, Howard, they instill fear. That's what they wanted to do, was the fear factor.
Don't expect KC to defend us.
Yeah, like I want to be in a foxhole with KC.
I like the way
I'll tell you one thing. I've never been. The Vietnam War. I never want to go fight, but I go fight this one.
This is something to fight.
I'll enlist right now, and goddamn it, fly over there and help blow up these pricks.
I'll be right with you, Howard. I'll be right there with you.
You bet.
You know what, Howard? You know what I keep saying to John?
Casey, you get on the ground floor, buddy, if you're nervous.
Right,
I'm serious.
be safe.
I'm not even making fun of you. You go ahead. Go ahead. Get down. I'm serious. If you're not comfortable, leave.
Go where you're comfortable. Because nobody's comfortable here now anyway.
Being up on on a high floor like this.
Good. All right, so go.
Think about tanning.
Don't worry. You can go. This is a real thing. If you have a real fear, you should leave.
As for communications in this area, they're really almost impossible to get because, as you know, most of the towers had many of the antennas there that control most of the phone lines for this area. There's no way of calling on any cell phones. Some landlines is what we call them in our business. Some regular phones are working in this area. We were lucky enough to be able to find one, which is 2 or 3 blocks from the scene, and that's how we've been able to contact you. But
behind the yellow tape. What if Barry's up? The road is closed. Yeah. Jerry's road is closed. Wait 1 second. Not
that 6, Acting Division 1, go ahead.
Division 6, Acting Division 1. We advise we have a Mayday transmitted by engine 2-1. All units in Manhattan, stand by unless urgent. Division 6 acting. Engine 2-4 transmitted a Mayday in a promenade and firefighters trapped. That's number 1. Number 2, car 5 is establishing a command post, West Street and Vesey Street. We would appreciate it if you can respond over to that location and coordinate the efforts with him, Kate.
Division 6, 10-4, we have a command post set up at Vesey and Park Row on the corner. Vesey Street and Park Row.
That's 10-4. We do have units coming into that staging area on Park Road, Kate. See if you can contact car 5, Kate.
Sure.
Any other unit calling Manhattan?
We're looking at a picture of the Pentagon right now. We're getting some live pictures for the first time, a close-up of the Pentagon complex there, which it was roughly an hour after the World Trade Center attacks, if we want to call it that at this point. Pretty safe to say that the Pentagon was subject to a similar attack, with eyewitnesses saying that they saw the tail end of a jet plow into the office complex there, the Pentagon complex.
Engine 3-3, urgent, go.
Engine 3-3 is being manned by an off-duty member from Rescue 1. Be advised, it appears that we have lost water pressure down in Lower Manhattan. Can you have Marine 1 or any other available fireboat respond to Vesey Street on the west side? We're going to need water supply into the area, okay?
As a result of a 911 call from the airport itself. There are no other details on this crash yet, and it's not clear whether the crash was related to anything else that has happened in the country today.
27th tower. Floor. 39th.
How did it begin? What happened?
I have no idea. I just heard the reports that the other tower was crashed by an airplane.
Well, good morning, Andrea. Right now with me is Joel Zuckerman. He was on his way into work, I believe, when he saw an American Airlines jet crash into the Pentagon. Joel, tell me what you saw.
Well, traffic was very heavy this morning, so it was bumper to bumper. We were all stopped. I was probably about 100 yards from the Pentagon when I heard this screaming sonic boom and saw the jet come screaming across the highway. It was an American Airlines jet, silver with the markings along the windows, and within seconds it hit the side of the Pentagon. My first thought was, my God, it's coming in so low for landing at National, but it screamed across Route 110, hit the west side of the Pentagon. Immediately there were flames that shot up, higher flames, white smoke, and then within seconds...
We're interrupting Lauren Ash.
Hey, walk those guys down to the car and
Are they going to try to evacuate the whole building there?
Well, at one point, that's what the thought process was, that it was better to evacuate. And then, in retrospect, that wasn't the case, because everyone who went outside, including myself, were subject to large explosions, very loud explosions that were accompanied by heavy, heavy smoke. We could not breathe. People are wearing white masks to cover themselves. I don't know if you could actually get a shot, but I'm covered in soot. And this is better. I already tried to clean myself off, but just standing outside a couple of blocks away, and I was just overtaken by smoke and debris. So that's the game plan. People are not waiting outside. They're finding a secure place elsewhere.
Understandably so.
Over to Ashley Banfield. And Ashley, where are you? What are you finding out?
Well, we just heard another explosion go off a couple of minutes ago, Chris, and saw a bunch more people sort of running this way. A woman on her bike was screaming as it went off, and there was a New York City officer, he's plain clothes, walking by with a radio. I tried to stop him to ask what happened, and all he said was car bomb, and then I couldn't press him for any more information. He said, I have no time for this, and we haven't seen anything since, but the cloud of smoke is still extremely thick around, right around the direct vicinity of the World Trade Center. I am now about, I'd say, what do you say, we're about 5 or 10 blocks north of it now?
We're now probably 2 miles away from the World Trade Center. They're evacuating the whole area. The city's basically shut down. All the subway trains and office buildings and businesses have been closed.
Mayor's race is having a primary today. That has now been canceled. Both on the Republican and the Democratic side, there was
evacuated, federal employees are standing on the street corners.
About 5 or 10 blocks north of it, and unbelievably, the sun has come out. There's blue sky above us. We started with, sheer blackness. When that cloud of debris and of smoke came at us when the explosion happened, we couldn't see anything. We couldn't breathe. We tried to make our way a few blocks up, and we've made contact with some other NBC crew here. And we're all just trying to, get communication, because that's one of the keys here. Everyone's running around with cell phones, and none of them is working.
Panther 1, we need to confirm the ROE, and also can you let us know if people are supposed to be flying right now, or is the ground hold still on?
Panther 1 working. Okay, Smurf, Panther is asking for current ROE. What are we at? What are we at?
Just tell them right now in the clear, tell them where it's at.
Shit, where the fuck is my... Panther 1 Hunter.
Go.
Panther 1 Hunter in the clear, currently at peace.
Burns broadcast to go to Gordon Peterson live near the Pentagon. Gordon?
Gordon's actually with me. It's Dave Statter. We're going to come to Gordon in a second. Gordon has an eyewitness, but first we have Lieutenant Colonel Art Hobode, who's Air Force Public Affairs, the first official word we've gotten from anyone. Colonel, can you tell us what you know?
All we know at this point in time was that there was an explosion. Eyewitnesses have told us that it was some type of aircraft that struck the building. At this point, the key that we want to keep people away from the building as far back as possible. And if people have loved ones in the building, please let the fire and rescue people do their work. We want to stay away from the building as much as we can, because all we're doing right now is inhibiting the fire and rescue folks by people trying to come to the building and find out about their loved ones.
Are there people in that building dead?
I do not know.
He's just shooting his mouth off.
you know, if indeed he is behind it, and it certainly needs his sort of money, and it also needed people who are prepared to die, because obviously a number of the people involved in this died while these attacks were being carried out.
Keith, interrupt me for you 1 second. I'm so sorry, Keith, if I can interrupt you for 1 second. We are looking at these pictures from America. We're receiving them live here in the United Kingdom. We're not sure.
Yeah, we're watching. Third explosion caused the collapse. It's just out of control. Out of freaking control. Let me see if anybody's got any information here. Darren, go ahead. Darren?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Howard, you need to stay on the air. You have the best coverage. You have a bird's eye view with Cabby and Doug in New York. I'm out here in Boston, and your coverage is fantastic, better than the network.
Okay, good. Then I'll stay on the air.
You're doing a great public service right now. You have a network of listeners.
I turned off my microphone for a while. I said to Tom, should I get off the air? And Tom said, believe it or not, you're doing a good job here, and people are calling like crazy. You need to speak, and especially for people outside of New York. So I'll stay on the air.
Definitely, definitely.
All right, thanks.
Doing a great job.
All right.
Unit with an urgent, go ahead.
Listen, we got numerous people trapped here from the previous collapse. We need a hand to get them out, okay? We're about 4 feet under, I really don't know.
Where were you operating?
What side, okay?
West side of tower number 1 or tower 2?
Tower 1.
Calling the mobile command vehicle. Calling the mobile command vehicle.
Mobile command, okay?
I have an urgent message from the desk. We have contact with units that are trapped in the vicinity of the west side of tower number 1. They're requesting urgent help.
10-4, west side, tower 1. That's contact call 5, okay?
Call 5, tell them that we have a report of members who are trapped under debris.
10-4.
There's certainly a lot of crisscross mayhem going on. As many police officers as they could muster to control pedestrian traffic. They've tried to post on corners, but there's bleed through. They're not able to keep everybody out, but clearly most of the people have been making their way north. It's terrifying down here, Chris. When that last bomb went, or when that last collapse happened, and the cloud came out, it was like something out of Hollywood. It was literally inescapable. And hold on, there's some emergency vehicles passing us.
You come over here so we can see you. I need a mic, Bruce, okay? This is Omar Campos and his friend Adil Raji. Omar doesn't speak English, so Adil's going to translate for us. Omar, you were an eyewitness, yes?
Yeah.
What did you see?
¿Cuál te lo viste? Oh, bueno, lo que yo vi, o sea que yo estaba trabajando en el edificio que tenemos aquí al costado. He was working right here outside of the building. You know, to the building right there. Yo estaba trabajando hacia afuera. He was working outside. Take to the twist out, a little twist out, you know. He take like the trash and stuff like this.
We're going to break into Gordon Peterson's report there from.
Number of injured?
Have no idea at this point.
Size of plane?
According to the eyewitness, he said that it looked like a corporate jet, but I have no official word on that at this point.
That's the E-ring of the Pentagon, senior officials there?
It was literally inescapable, and like I said, the producer I'm working with, we had to break down a window just to breathe and just to escape the black cloud of glass and debris and dust. There were a couple of other people, two New York City police officers who were directly behind us, banging on the window to get in as well. We let them in, and because there were double door glass.
05530 Broad, 17,000, parking 280. Going over bar.
Yes. If you have a track interest,
Panthers dropping a group 060 first.
Hold on, they're talking to me right now for a second. Panther Hunter, standby 1. Okay. Okay, give me what you were talking about. I need you. Tell me what you need to tell me. This is for Panther 1, correct? They're tapping over Boston. Okay, what?
Any track of interest that's heading towards the major city, you will ID. If you cannot divert them away from the major city, you are to confirm with me first, and most likely you will get clearance to shoot.
And tell me, I have to tell them that in the clear?
You can tell them exactly in those words.
Okay.
Yeah, now, Dimble, right?
Okay. Stand by one, I gotta pass this right now. Panther 1 Huntress.
Panther 1.
Panther 1, call all and any tracks of interest. Verify if they were going toward a major city. Mission ID. Unsuccessful divert. Ask for our clearance to shoot.
Hunters, Cooper's got about a 1+30 playtime right now.
Copy that, thank you. 1+30 playtime.
This is 1+50.
Copy, thank you.
1453, 130, 150.
Hunters, Cobra 1.
Go ahead.
If it matters, Cobra and Apex Flight, mix on board is hot cutoff.
Copy, I understood that from the soft before you took off. It's better than nothing. There's new direction coming down. Stand by. I don't have secure capability, but I'll brief you in a few minutes once they finish giving me the word.
Somewhere an aircraft took off without permission, somewhere south of DC, and was heading in this direction. There is...
Marine 1, you respond over to Bessie Street on the west side, establish a water relay. Marine 1.
We're 1084. Be advised, we have numerous injured people on board, babies and hundreds of people, so we might have to relay them off our boat with another boat or something, okay?
Alright, Marine 1, that's a 10-4. Assistance over there.
We're right below the North Cove Marina. We're about 100 yards. I'm not sure what street we're on, Kay.
Stand by. You know what urgent, go.
Yeah, this is Marine 6. I'm on the west side highway. I'm pinned. I can't seem to get out, Kay.
This is Marine, an officer of a firefighter from Marine 6.
An officer from the Marine Division, Kay.
Alright, you're on the west side highway or the west side of the building?
The highway.
You're on the west side highway? Are you pinned in a piece of apparatus?
I was, that's all.
Alright, we're going to get some members over there to assist you. Calling the mobile command vehicle.
Andrea, we're back talking to Omar Campos and his friend Adil Raji is translating for him. Now, Omar, you say this was a smaller plane, 10 to 15 passengers maybe?
No es muy grande.
No es muy grande.
It's not like too big, it's just...
tú sabes los aviones comerciales.
It's like business aeroplane.
Like a business jet, yeah. And it was a jet?
Yeah, it's like a business aeroplane.
Ajá.
Yeah.
And what did you see the aircraft do?
Pero ¿cuál tú lo viste exacto?
Oh, bueno, yo lo vi que me pasó así por encima y tú sabes que venía muy bajo y movía hasta los árboles según venía debajo.
It's come very fast down, it moves, then it goes straight to the buildings.
And the Israeli embassy in London has been evacuated. Obviously, there is global reaction to the disaster that is occurring here in the United States.
We had also mentioned, of course, that one of the planes that is believed to have crashed into the World Trade Center was an American Airlines jet. We now understand that American Airlines officials in Dallas, where the company is headquartered, are going to hold a news conference shortly. So it'll be interesting. Maybe we'll get some more information on the passenger count on that jet.
Let me...
Marine 6 to Manhattan. The member you just spoke to is Captain Fuentes. He is the Marine Division.
I'm trying to get him some help. Calling the mobile command vehicle.
Engine 28 to Central.
28 engine.
Where do you have members trapped?
28 engine.
Where?
We're on the West Side Highway opposite the World Trade Center. We have Captain Fuentes trapped in a vehicle.
10-4. Breach 6 Alpha to Manhattan, okay. Where do you want us?
6 Alpha, where are you right now?
We're heading out of the Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Right out below Manhattan, opposite the World Trade Center.
6 Alpha, 10-4, okay.
Calling Captain Fuentes.
And big explosion.
Yeah, it's like...
it's
muy
big.
grande.
No.
Pero ¿sabe qué colores?
Lo alcancé a ver que era como blanco por bajo y como así alrededor como celeste.
What color was it?
It's like white in the top, it's like blue color downstairs. It's like
white on the top and blue on the color.
It's not like
blue
like white blue. Como los aeroplanes de aquí, de América.
American
como así.
Algo así como los de la United, you know.
He said like a United States airplane.
And Gordon, you know, there's one thing we've heard from some conflicting information. They're saying like a large business type airplane. Others have said it's been as large as a 767.
Right.
There are conflicting reports we should tell people, including some military people who seem to have witnessed or getting information that it may be that large.
Right.
Okay, go.
Conway, caller to Manhattan, K. Listen, this is Dennis Conway. At least 3 engines down on 1. We got car fires that sending.
Unit transmitting, you're totally unreadable. Everybody stand by unless they have an urgent message. If there's an urgent message, go ahead. Unit, you're breaking up and tying up the frequency. Go to another radio.
Okay. Are you an eyewitness as well?
Well, we only seen the back part as it was going over our building. And
what's your name?
Mark Eason.
And what did you see, Mark?
Just the plane. We were upstairs and from the window, and we heard the rumbling first, and then the plane just flew over top of us. It was so low that everything just...
Where were you?
On Columbia Pike. And it scared the mess out of us. And all of a sudden, when it went past, you know, I ran downstairs and they just said, you know, it was a big explosion. They said, oh my God, it hit the Pentagon, it hit the Pentagon.
Now, I know you just caught a glimpse.
One tower collapses and the other collapses. Carol Maureen, our CBS News correspondent based in Chicago, is just back from this part of New York City. Carol?
Dan, I think I was in the second collapse or an explosion right after that, because I was trying to make my way around Stuyvesant High School. I believe that's correct. I'm not a New Yorker. But I was coming toward the World Trade Center looking for CBS crews and asked a firefighter if he saw any. He told me to walk down the middle of the road. All of a sudden, there was a roll, an explosion, and we could see coming at us a ball of flame stories high. He and others screamed, "Run," and I ran. I fell. One of them picked me up. We ran as fast as we could, and then he threw me into the wall of a building and covered me. Forgive me. I am in his debt. You know, Dan, I know firefighters do incredible work all of the time, but this was exceeded anything that I can imagine. He threw me into a wall, covered me with his body. I could feel his heart banging against my back. We were both so sure we were going to die. The flame somehow stopped short of us.
An expert with us on the phone, George Eisen, who is a terrorist expert at William Patterson College, joins us. Professor Eisen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Your reaction, please, and how this could happen.
This is such a coordinated activity that it had to have an extremely highly sophisticated infrastructure to carry this one out. Obviously, when I was talking to you, there's no such a thing terrorists expect in such a magnitude. As I'm watching myself, this is a tragedy beyond description.
Let's go back to Frank Herzog, who is near the Washington Monument. Frank?
We're seeing what looks like a medevac helicopter going up the Potomac River right now from the Pentagon area. Smoke continues to billow there, and we can confirm that no signs of any smoke or anything around the State Department. So I think that was a bogus report. I can tell you that the security is still very heightened on top of the White House. The security people up there are looking out to the west. We have got unconfirmed report, another plane out there. They say about 4 miles out, but we have not been able to confirm that at all.
Carol Maureen, did you see any bodies? Did you see anyone that you said to yourself, that person is dead?
I saw people on stretchers that I was certain were dead. I saw firefighters and paramedics going into buildings where they themselves had to wonder if they were coming out. But there were a surprising number of people ambulatory and making their way out. I saw much more of that than I saw actual carnage. The concern that I heard from police and fire was that the people who were dead didn't make their way out of those towers, that most of the death is contained within those buildings.
Contact my daughter who lives in Manhattan, and I just got a hold of her, but I mean, it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, my wife Marla is she's in the 20s, and she's in a panic mode. She can't get home. She's just running on the streets.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, she's running home as quick as she can, and it's scared because she doesn't have a cell phone. I can't get in touch with her.
I'm returning again to my earlier point. The sophistication of this entire enterprise leaves me speechless. The coordination. It cannot be just a lone cowboy who is just riding into the Twin Towers per se.
Mm-hmm. But whatever collapsed created, and you saw it in some of that video, Dan, a rain of cinders so thick that you couldn't see this far in front of you and you couldn't breathe. A police officer, and I wish I knew the firefighter's name, a police officer by the name of Brendan Duke grabbed my hand, and he and I tried to find our way through it until we could hit a clearing in the light. What you're seeing on the ground here, Dan, was in the air, and you couldn't see. And again, we thought we were finished. We somehow got to the light. Another firefighter gave me his mask for a moment so I could breathe. And then I made my way somehow through the smoke into the light to our crews. There was a cameraman there whose head was bloody, and he was trying to shoot and set up some of these shots there. The firefighters, the police, the crews, the people streamed toward me as I made my way to the Trade Center, sobbing and crying and trying to call home on dead cell phones, but they couldn't get through.
Unit, you're breaking up.
Rescue guy.
Go ahead.
Let's go to police.
Mobile Command Center.
Yeah, listen, we got these old hands. We got numerous traps on the west side. Rescue 1 squad.
You're breaking up. Repeat your message.
People trapped on the west side, low Manhattan case.
So what unit is this?
Marine Battalion 8.
All right, Marine Battalion, we have help coming in. If you tell me exactly where you are, I'll get you some help. Where are you?
I can't read it. The building's on top of it.
Calling the mobile command vehicle. Calling any unit at the scene of the World Trade Center.
What's happening for me, the ultimate puzzle is how possible to hijack.
That's what I was going to ask you, because it is not simply one hijacked airplane, obviously, that we are talking about. You bring up the issue of a coordinated effort. It is almost unbelievable.
There is so much fear out there even now because of gas main leaks. There was a point at which I watched firefighters run. Someone threw me forward. A paramedic truck let me jump inside and drove me halfway, and then a New York City bus driver opened his doors of an empty bus and drove me here to the broadcast center. To all of them, I mean, citizens of New York and have remained amazingly calm but deeply frightened.
If we're looking into the possible organizations that can pull through this kind of thing, they have to have, any organization must have an infrastructure here in the United States. And I very strongly believe
Stupid. Break the fucking balls.
I'm going to try around whatever.
I am sure that both the FBI and the CIA they are already working on the leads. I think what they need to look into is the origin. One is in Boston. Another one is, of course, in New Jersey, Newark, as I understand. And I'm relying only on the newscasts. So they're already trying to figure out. I really believe it will be solved. It's too large of an operation. Very sophisticated again, but it will be definitely solved.
What does this tell us about U.S. security?
I do not believe that a foolproof security can be achieved. What can be done, however, on this for me the puzzle here, how possible 4 jet liners hijacked?
That's good.
Aaron, just 2 or 3 minutes ago, there was yet another collapse or explosion. I'm now out of sight. A Good Samaritan has taken me in on Duane Street. But at 11:15, there was another collapse or explosion following the 10:30 collapse of the second tower. And a firefighter who rushed by us estimated that 50 stories went down. The street filled with smoke
was like a fire, forest fire roaring down a canyon. Now, as I think Patty Sabga and others have told you, all of Manhattan is covered, downtown Manhattan is covered with thick white ash and building material.
Could you give me the location of Chief Blake, please?
We believe they're at the west side of building number 1, on the west side of building number 1.
710-4. Be advised, there's several units. We're transmitting out of ladder 124. We don't have a rig or anything.
We believe there are numerous members trapped in the vicinity of the west side of that building in the collapse zone.
Side of building 1.
That's the best I can do for you. I'm getting that from a member who is trapped and unable to tell me where he is.
10-4, he's in a vehicle?
I don't know that. Calling Captain Fuentes.
What units do you have at Broadway and Vesey at this time?
Unknown, Kay. We're not sure. We're gonna have to send you have to send somebody over there. Also, be advised that we're in radio contact with Captain Fuentes and his people. They are trapped. He's trying to give me a location, but he's unable to.
All right, 10-4, like I said, Chief Blake is on his way up with members. He's trying to get into them now. As soon as Mobile Command Center can, we're going to head out to Broadway and Vesey, okay?
Calling Captain Fuentes.
The Pentagon just turned black, charred, and then the flames came up. We were all worried because it was bumper-to-bumper traffic and everybody stopped and everybody got out of their cars. We were just worried if there was another explosion, it would just come, shoot fire at us, and we would all be toast. There was just nowhere to go.
Right. MCC when able. The kill direction, once again, I want one more time before I tell these guys. I'm just going to give them a brief. I'm not going to tell them to do nothing. I'm going to say what to expect, though.
Right now we have intercepted.
Stand by.
Pentagon, and Jana, what did you see?
I saw a plane coming in from completely the wrong direction, flying very, very low, and as soon as I saw it out my window, I knew it was headed directly towards the Potomac River, and I saw it go right into the Pentagon.
Could you describe the size of that plane? Do you know what kind of a plane it was?
It looked like a commuter-type plane. It was larger than the private planes, which sometimes do take a different air path to get to the airport. They go a little bit around a roundabout way to get into the airport frequently. This plane was substantially larger than that, flying in substantially lower than anything I'd ever seen, almost grazing the treetops out of my window here.
Could you feel the sound and sensation as the ground shook?
I could not. I only saw it. I'm far enough away. I have a view because I'm on the 13th floor, but I did not hear. My windows were closed, and so I didn't actually hear it. I just saw it crash and the billows of smoke, which have not yet subsided at all. And so I'm actually just seeing the billows of smoke and the mass exodus over Route 50 here, with everyone fleeing town. It's a bit of a harrowing sight.
Airport, right?
Brooklyn, McLean.
Other unit calling Manhattan.
Brooklyn, okay.
What?
Yeah, we need some relief here. We have the collapse unit. This is Captain Fuentes, a couple other members, guys.
Captain Fuentes, are you trapped?
And for Mobile Command to Manhattan, okay?
I told them our mission is to protect major centers. We're going to take you, we're going to drag you down to Pittsburgh and do this, because I got a tanker coming now. But I just want to give him an ROE because he's going to be out of lots once he's down there. so I want to make sure I got clear, concise words to him before he leaves. Granted, they only got 4 joints of guns.
If they don't respond to divert hand signals and divert procedures, and they're headed towards a major area, then you're clear to engage.
Look up. Cobra and Apex, Hunters. Okay, there's still a bit of traffic airborne. They're not all completely down. I imagine it's all low south of you. That's where we'll hold 2 loops to confirm the tanker gets up. Holy shit, I need a check rush. Okay, I have ROE instructions. Are you ready to copy?
Stand by, Hunters. Couple 1, go ahead.
Okay, the direction of protecting the major centers, when you're overhead the major center, being Pittsburgh in this case, you have intercept authority on any traffic in the area, and if traffic does not respond to hand signals, divert procedures, anything like that, and they continue to press in a threatening manner towards the major center, you're cleared to engage.
Copy.
Is this Captain Fuentes?
10-4.
All right, we have help on the way to you, Cap. We believe that you're in the west side of the #1 World Trade Center, out in front of the collapse zone. Is that correct?
Sorry, the collapse zone, 10-4.
All right, sending you some help.
Engine 7 and Ladder 1 members have received that message. We're on our way. Let them know.
All right, 7 engine, 1 truck members are on the way, and the staff chief is aware of your location, Cap. So stand by. We'll be there in a little while. What are you calling?
Okay. Jack, tell me what was going through your mind when you were shooting that stuff.
When I first got on the scene, it was like I've never seen before. People getting ready to, the helpless people at the top of the building, waving their hands, ready to leap out of the building, overcome by smoke. I got on the scene, and basically,
you see people jumping out of the windows, and
it's almost unreal when you're looking through a camera when you're seeing things happen, and things just so happen to be that way.
Now, when the building collapsed, we saw your footage. You actually started running. What happened?
As the building collapsed, I was maybe 200 feet from the building, and rolling on the footage, and overwhelmed by feelings of
Did you think this was it?
I thought it was it. I was saying my prayers. It was. We were overcome by blackness and smoke, and I was running from the building. I didn't know what was going to hit me in the back. It was basically I was just hanging on to. I was trying to calm myself down, hold on to my breath, and I was saying my prayers. I thought it was it.
Good to see you alive.
Yeah, you too.
Let's switch.